Welcome, Congressman Newhouse, and thank you for joining us today. We have some hard-hitting questions for you, so I hope you're ready.
I hope so too.
Perfect. To get us going, how long have you been involved in politics and how did you get started?
Well, let's see. I first ran for office in 2003. I ran for the state legislature and won a term there. I served 4 terms in the state legislature. But how did I get started? You know, that was a long process. I'm a farmer up in the lower Yakima Valley, in your sunny side.
Yeah.
And gosh, it goes back a ways, and maybe we can talk about this. I kind of grew up in a political family. My father served in the state legislature for a long time, 3.5 decades. In fact, if you go to Olympia, there's a building named after Irving Newhouse.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with politics and watched my father kind of, you know, be engaged in public service and all that. So I always had an interest.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I was engaged in a lot of the grower groups, you know, the hop growers of Washington or the Farm Bureau, different things like that. So I kind of was engaged in agricultural politics. And so it seemed like a natural thing when an opportunity arose to run for elected office. I decided that there was time to also serve the public.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Lots of different factors. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now to get in the hard-hitting questions.
Oh, no.
What year was Hanford High School founded?
So I think I know this because you know why? I was in high school when it started.
Okay.
And I graduated in 1973. Just tell you how old I am. And I think Hanford started a year before that.
1972. That's right. Yes, that is the correct answer.
I remember it started.
Yeah. Okay, to continue on, your father, Irv Newhouse, we were just talking about, who spent over 30 years in the state legislature, is fondly remembered by many. To the Associated Press, he was a brilliant parliamentarian and skilled negotiator.
Yeah.
Now, like, how did he influence you? Him.
So, in lots of ways. Like I said, I grew up, I guess, just imagine sitting around the family table, dining room table, and listening to the discussion about what's going on, current events, what he's as engaged in, people he knew, you know, like Governor Evans and other people that were part of his life. And so, you know, I started things clicking in my mind early on. And then later, as I was, you know, I was pretty young at that time, but as I was older, when I was in high school, actually, when I was able to drive, I'd actually go around with my father a lot of places and watched him engage with the public and some of his work. And then something that is available to high school students, I served as a page in Olympia in the House of Representatives.
Really?
Yeah. And you can do that. You can do that if you're so inclined. And that's a great experience to expose people to what happens in state government. So, you know, a lot of those kinds of things, I think, influenced my decision eventually. But watching truly what I think the definition of what public service is.
Seeing from your father and
and being able to help positively influence people's lives and do good things, positive things for our community.
Positively impacting just everywhere around
you. Absolutely.
Okay, another question about Hanford. What are Hanford High School's colors?
Wow, this is a hard one.
It's a really difficult one.
I'm looking around. I don't think it's this, but so
black and white.
This is a hard one for me because I'm a WSU Cougar. And this looks surprisingly close to that other university in Seattle.
The other university.
So it could be purple and gold. I'm not sure.
Purple and gold. That's exactly right. Okay, to continue on with the interview. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do when you aren't in D.C.?
Sure.
Yeah.
So my favorite Washington is Washington State, not Washington, D.C. And this may sound a little corny, but what I love to do is come back to my farm. My son, Devin, and his wife, Haley, are running the farm now. Yeah. And it really is enjoyable for me to come back and help them be engaged in the farm. My vacation for the year is hop harvest. I like to come back and help with the harvest season, just to get back out in the open air and actually watch things being produced and have a hand in that. That's really a good thing.
Your other Washington home, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, another really difficult piece of trivia. What is Hanford High School's mascot?
Well, I think it's the Falcons.
It is the Falcon, yes. We're the Falcons. We're the Falcon family, that's for sure.
Very good.
Okay, back onto D.C. What's the most exciting or interesting thing about working in D.C.?
About being a member of Congress or just being in D.C.?
Just in general. You could touch on many aspects.
So, well, just, the city of Washington, D.C., and maybe some of you have gone. I would encourage, I say this to everybody, every American should go to Washington, D.C. at least once. It's certainly the seat of our government, but there's a tremendous amount of history represented there. Certainly all the memorials to different people, as to well as different wars that have been fought. Arlington Cemetery, certainly the Smithsonian, and all the different aspects of American life, and really, the mall of the U.S. Capitol is sometimes referred to as America's front yard.
Yeah.
And so it's an amazing place just to learn about the United States of America. And I've not met anyone that hasn't gone to D.C. and come away with a sense of pride for being an American.
Yes,
so I'd encourage people to go.
Yeah.
But then I don't have a lot of time to be a tourist when I'm there because, busy in the Capitol and all the work going on there. But that's also a very exciting thing to be able to be a part of.
Yeah.
Being part of the legislative body that's making decisions that impact all Americans. It's a tremendous responsibility, but it's also a great privilege, and to be able to work on behalf of the people of Central Washington, representing them, it's really a highlight of my life. And there's a tremendous the people there. You meet some really, really impressive people, business leaders, government leaders from all over the country and all over the world. So there's a lot of opportunities to engage with people from all walks of life.
I'm sure it makes you proud to be an American, just going there and seeing everything.
Every morning when I walk to work and I see the U.S. Capitol Dome, it does something to me.
Yes, it gets you somewhere else. Okay, another Hanford High School trivia.
No, there's
so,
more.
What university does Hanford High School share its fight song with?
Can you hum it for me?
I can hum it for you if you really want to.
Sure.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Not a singer.
That was very
people.
Good. So
Thank you.
That sounds a little bit like Notre Dame.
Yes, Notre Dame.
Okay,
yes,
awesome.
That's who we share our fight song with.
Okay. Very good.
Last question. If you could give each student at Hanford High School one piece of advice, what would that be?
One piece of advice. Well, you never tell a politician to just say one thing. But I would say that there are no limits to what you can achieve in this life. Set your goals high and work as hard as you can. You'd be surprised what you can accomplish. Kids in high school today, young people that are such as yourself, they're going to Hanford High, you are probably one of the most unique. You've experienced something through no fault of your own, through this last year of the coronavirus and the pandemic and all of the challenges that we've all had to face, right? But having your high school experience, you kind of got shortchanged on that.
Just a little bit,
Just a little. But I think in a way that this is a very, this has given you guys an opportunity that no one else before you has had. You've been forced to reflect on and been demonstrated to you what is important in your life.
Very true.
And also what isn't. And I think some of the things that we miss being around our friends every day, right? That's really important.
Yeah.
But one of the important things we've been able to gain is spending more time with our families that that maybe we probably wouldn't have done otherwise, because you're so busy in sports and school and all this other stuff. You've been forced to be home and spend some real quality time at a point in your life where pretty soon you may be going off to the Notre Dame or Washington State or University of Washington. You're going to be leaving your homes and you'll never get that time back. So I think it's, even though it's been tough, I think there's some really good things that have been a part of this. And I like to look at the world a little bit optimistically. And I think if you take that lesson and keep it with you the rest of your life, you will prioritize the most important things to you, and you'll be way better off, and will be better off because
I think
of
it's
that.
very true. I think this pandemic has definitely taught us what
Yeah.
is important and what's not important,
Yeah.
and I think we'll all be able to use that just with anything throughout our lives.
Absolutely.
So that was the last question. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to visit us at Hanford on a regular basis.
So there's one question I had for you.
Yes, okay, you can.
I wanted to
Switch
understand. You were just awarded the Outstanding Journalist Award, Lou Flannery
Lou
Award.
Flannery Journalist Award.
So you're a bit of a celebrity yourself. Tell me
Just
about
a little
that.
bit. So I have been in the broadcast program since freshman year of my high school career.
And you're a senior now.
Yes, I'm a senior now.
Okay.
So I have seen everything within broadcast, whether that's script writing or editing or camera work and all of that. And my broadcast advisor, Mrs. LaViolet, signed me up for the Lou Flannery Outstanding Journalist Award. I had no intentions of winning it just because it's all throughout Washington. It's,
Chances are small.
Chances
right?
are small, but
Yeah.
I was one of the co-recipients for the Lou Flannery Outstanding
very
Journalist
good.
Award, and I just got that last week. So
Well, awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. I really
Oh,
appreciate it.
Very good. Very
No,
good.
I appreciate it. Thanks for doing this interview with us. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate
It's fun.
it. Yeah.
Good.
Are we good? Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you,
really
Ellie.
appreciate it.
Good to
Yes,
meet you.
Good to meet you.